The air in the room turned heavy, almost suffocating. Every word she spoke hit like a poison dart, sharp and deliberate. I won't let you ruin my party. I've earned the right to be with someone else, and you won't stop me. I'm going to go through with it, and you're just going to have to accept it. Her sheer nerve knocked the wind out of me. All that was left behind was a wildfire of raw, untamed fury. What came out of my mouth wasn't some carefully chosen retort, it was instinct, a gut reaction. You walk out that door, Jenna, and tomorrow you'll find your things dumped on the sidewalk. Funny, how the battleground ended up being our bedroom, the most ordinary place in the world. The scent of her perfume still lingered in the air, soft and familiar. She stood in front of the mirror, calmly adjusting her earrings like she was heading out for some casual Friday night date. If you squinted, it almost looked like we were still that couple heading to dinner and a movie. But that illusion? It had already shattered, crumbling away day by day. A trail of carelessly hidden texts, hushed phone calls disguised as work, the slight hesitation in her voice whenever she said, "I love you." All of it came together like puzzle pieces in a nightmare. Words that once wrapped around me like a warm blanket now sounded rehearsed, just another lie meant to keep me blind. So I asked. Point blank. The question just sat there, thick in the silence. "Where are you going tonight, Jenna?" She didn't flinch. Just turned a little, eyes locked on her reflection as she casually swiped on her lipstick. To him. And just like that, something inside me snapped. That got her attention. She looked at me then, but not with regret or guilt. No, all I saw was a flicker of annoyance, like I was a speed bump on the road to her evening plans. "I'm not letting you ruin my night," she said again, her tone edged with disdain I hadn't noticed before. "I deserve to be with someone else. You can't stop me. I'm doing this. You'll just have to live with it." Not an ounce of doubt in her. No hint of regret. Just a woman standing firm in her choice, one who clearly thought I'd fold. She was wrong. Dead wrong. The scream that wanted out of my throat never came. The urge to hurl something at the wall? Just a fleeting spark. Instead, I rose from the chair, the leather groaning beneath me, and made my way over to her. I met her eyes, steady and unwavering, trying to show her just how serious I was. "If you walk out that door," I said, voice low and tight despite the tremble in my hands, "you'll be digging your stuff out of the trash tomorrow." She blinked, and for a second, surprise flickered in her gaze. Maybe she'd expected a meltdown, tears, begging, shouting. But I was past that. The well of emotions had run dry, leaving only a cold, unshakable resolve. Her lips curled into a smug little smile, pitying, almost. Then, without a word, she turned and walked out. The echo of her heels in the hallway hit like a war drum, steady and final. She didn't realize it yet, but she'd already lost. She was gone in under half an hour. What followed wasn't a storm of fury, but a quiet, almost surgical removal of her from my world. One by one, every trace of her scent, her touch, the echo of betrayal was packed away in thick black garbage bags. High-end dresses, overpriced heels, glossy photos filled with fake smiles, and picture-perfect vacations tossed without ceremony, face down in the bin. It wasn't rage driving me. It was something colder, sharper, pure clarity. She wasn't my wife anymore. She was just a woman who had calmly announced she'd rather be with someone else and had expected me to roll over and accept it. Step 1. Cut her off. Even before she came to her lover, her credit cards were useless. I have already transferred our joint savings to a new account in my name. One quick call to the bank, the card was hacked, and everything was done. Then followed the tedious work of changing all the passwords. Streaming apps, online stores, all subscriptions. The departed one. She didn't know it yet, but when she tried to pay for their drinks with her flashy platinum card, she'd run into a brick wall. Step 2. Erase. The last trash bag landed in a street dumpster just before midnight. I pulled her key off my keyring, it felt cold and heavy in my hand, and locked the door behind me. Double deadbolt. The house felt stripped. Too quiet. Too clean. Like it had been rinsed of something toxic, but at the same time, the emptiness was eerie. I dropped onto the couch. The cushions, somehow, didn't feel like they used to, cracked open a beer, and waited. The first call came at 1:17 a.m. Then another. And another. A sharp, restless buzzing broke the silence, over and over. I didn't move. I just listened, waiting for her voice to spill through. "Open the door. Stop it," she shouted. Jenna's voice trembled, equal parts confusion and the first taste of fear. Eventually, I got up, my legs were lead, and walked to the intercom. Pressed the button. Who is it? What? It's me. Stop screwing around. I hit the speaker again, voice calm, like I was stating a fact. You made your choice. Remember? You said, I'll see this through. Silence. Then, a shaky pitch. My bag's still inside. My stuff. They're in the trash, Jenna, I said, cool as glass. Told you that already. No yelling. No drama. But I heard it, that edge creeping into her tone. That rising panic, like someone realizing the door they walked through might not open again. She knocked a bit longer, the sound dull against the heavy door. Then, nothing. That was the last time she stood outside this house. By sunrise, she didn't live here anymore. The next morning wasn't clouded by exhaustion or nerves. It was driven by something far heavier, grit. A grim, deliberate resolve. That's when I understood something most people don't. Revenge isn't fury. It isn't shouting or slamming doors. It's precision, timing, exposure. She had no home, no money, no idea how far I was willing to go. Step 3, the truth goes public. We shared history. Friends who toasted our wedding, sent Christmas cards, sat around our table. People she hugged and smiled at while keeping her secret. I dropped one message in the group chat. Hey, everyone. You deserve to know who Jenna really is. Attached was a screenshot, her message to him, sent just hours before she came home and lied to my face. He has no clue, as usual. I'll stay the night with you and go back like nothing happened. I need more of you. You make me feel wanted. I didn't add commentary. I didn't have to. Her own words did the damage. Within 10 minutes, the DMs rolled in 2 apologies for ever doubting me, and one from her closest friend. Is there anything else I should know? Step 4. Sever every tie. Her gym, cancelled. Insurance, revoked. Health benefits, gone. Every subscription, every comfort I once paid for terminated. Phone plan, cut off. If she wanted a new life, she could build it. From the rubble. And then came the final touch. Her job. She always liked to present herself as the perfect wife, their stable, trustworthy, professional image meant everything. So I didn't yell or accuse. I just sent a polite, quiet note. You may want to revisit your company's stance on ethical behavior, particularly in dealings with key clients. It turned out that her late-night affair was one of their biggest scandals. By Monday, the walls were closing in. Step 5, the inevitable encounter. 2 weeks later, she found me our old cafe, a place we used to sit in and pretend everything was fine. I saw her before she saw me. Hair tied back. No makeup. A quiet attempt at humility. She walked over to my table, eyes red, shoulders drawn in. Can we talk? I sipped my coffee slowly. The bitterness felt right. About what? I didn't think you'd go this far. No, I said evenly. You thought I'd collapse, cry, maybe even beg. You expected weakness. Her voice cracked. I was wrong. I looked straight at her. No, Jenna. You disrespected me. You lied. You weren't mistaken. You made a choice. She hesitated, hands trembling slightly. Can we fix this? I stood. The chair creaked loud in the quiet cafe, took my coat off the hook. First, I said, keeping my voice low, you'll be okay. In time. But you'll never forget what it feels like to lose everything. In one night. And then I walked out. Not in rage. Not in triumph. Just with the steady calm of someone who finished the last page and closed the book. The other man would pay, too. They always think they're untouchable. Cheating partners. Heroes who swagger into someone else's life, convinced they're the prize. A fantasy to justify betrayal. They think no one will ever reach them. Until someone does. And this man had no idea how badly he'd miscalculated. Step 6, find his weak spot. 2 days after the truth went public, I had it. Luxury real estate. A clientele obsessed with status. A personal brand built on trust, confidentiality, and professionalism. His website practically oozed virtue. His socials were curated down to the lighting. The irony was suffocating. One quiet call to a former client of his, who happened to be a friend. A fake inquiry. A staged meeting. He walked into a multi-million-dollar home showing, confident, polished. Signed a contract with a shell company. Then came the evidence. Screenshots. Hotel receipts. Flirty texts from his work phone. Photos he thought were private. It all went straight to the property owners. And to his company. The fallout was immediate. Indefinite leave within 24 hours. The client pulled the deal, citing ethical concerns. Others followed, once the screenshots started circulating through local real estate networks. No headlines. No confrontation. Just the quiet, methodical collapse of the image he lived for. Step 7. Social isolation. It didn't stop with his job. He had a wife. She got an anonymous package. A Dropbox link. Timeline. Receipts. Messages. Every detail laid out like clockwork. 2 days later, she was gone with the kids. Blocked him everywhere. His exciting double life vanished, leaving only an empty apartment, an inbox full of silence, and court documents stamped irreconcilable differences. I didn't need to lift a finger after that. His own actions did the work. A few days later, a message arrived. Burner account. No profile picture. It was him. Are you satisfied? You destroyed everything. I didn't reply. Because when someone hands you the match and begs you to burn yourself, you don't apologize for striking it. Closure isn't warm. It isn't loud. It's quiet, cold. It's been weeks. The dust has settled. But not for them. For me, there's only stillness. Peace. No more lies. No more quiet betrayals at dinner. No more looking across the table at someone who'd already left in every way that mattered. I've grieved. And now I'm moving forward. Step 8, the final goodbye. I sent the divorce papers by courier. No courtroom. No spectacle. Just clean lines and finality. Inside was a note. Typed. Precise. You wanted freedom? Here it is. I wanted respect. But you traded it for a few nights of attention. The image you tried to protect is already gone. Now, you live with who you've become. Me? I'm already living. I heard she cried when she read it. Not because she lost me. Because the mask she wore finally cracked. And everyone saw what was underneath. Her end. Not mine. She moved in with a friend. Her reputation, shattered. Her social circle, gone. As for him, he filed for bankruptcy 3 months later. Still untangling the legal mess. His family wants nothing to do with him. And me? I've been traveling. Rebuilding. Meeting people who don't lie with their eyes. For the first time in years I sleep peacefully. They never understood. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't beg. They thought they'd win. But revenge isn't chaos. It's cold, calculated, and final.